So it looks like we're doing part 3. So let's start part 3 off with the Omega Pledge. It, at least there's something. There's some kind of discount, and compared to some of the other Kickstarters I've seen them do, 390 is reasonable, and the fact that I had to say that is awful, but that's the way that it is. It's a licensed property with a lot of licensed stuff and a lot of royalties to pay out, and it'll make good enough money to survive. And you know what? There's some good stuff here. I don't want it to sound like all I'm doing is harping on them and all the bad stuff, but I am going to be honest with you about how I feel about everything we come across. So let's talk about this. That is horrifying. Like, legitimately, I showed this to people just to get their reaction. That is horrifying. The model loses a lot of points because of the way that the glasses had to be sculpted in order to get them to be paintable. And I get it. That's the way it is. I'm not going to... nope, you did it right. I don't blame you at all. That is horrifying. Who signed off on Plastic Man looking like this? He looks like Carnage. He looks like a second-rate Carnage. But he's still absolutely horrifying. So you know what? This one gets a win. Never thought I'd be afraid of Plastic Man, but here I am. We got the Riddler. Not bad. Not bad. We got the whole cube gimmick thing going on. The problem with the Riddler here is the Riddler is standing like the Joker, and with his hair pulled back and that giant-ass smile, he looks like the Joker. If you were to nip the question mark off of this staff and put anything else on it, including just a bulb, and then paint him like the Joker, this would be the Joker. That aside, cool thing to add. Cool thing to add. Riddler doesn't get much love. Good thing to add. This one, I knew a lot of people, including myself, were really hopeful for, and I'm super excited that he's here, and I'm still going to bitch about him, so here we go. So, this Lobo is the thinnest and the least, I don't want to say masculine per se, but the least bodybuilder-esque. All the Lobo media that I'm familiar with the exception of maybe one, has Lobo like Eddie Brock from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Like, my boy is beef. He is beefcake, and he doesn't have his bike, which, okay, we're going to call that the wreckage of the bike. That's fine. We can do that. He doesn't have any of his gear, which is just, that makes me sad. And the model, they chose to do him with a beard, which sounds good in theory, but I don't know that it modeled well. That aside, though, very cool art, very cool inclusion. You put the sculptor in a tough spot with this one, but you know what? After Orion, I'm going to count this one as a win. Yay for Lobo. Okay. I'm not a Superman fan. I'm not. I can't. The stories I like about Superman are the one where it's he goes to the girl who's getting ready to jump off the building and listens to her talk, and the one where he's in the elevator talking to Lois about how hard it must have been to be Batman, while Batman is talking to Selina about how hard it must be to be Superman. Those are the two medias that I can recall, and the one he did with the Elite where he goes all crazy and then it's like, I didn't actually go crazy. Those are the only couple of Superman stories I've ever found myself going, yeah, I like that. That was good. All the other ones, I just can't. And Supergirl is Superman light, and I've never seen an incarnation of Supergirl except maybe the one DC movie where she teams up with Darkseid for a little bit, where she was anything more than a pest to me. And I'm sorry, if Supergirl is your girl, then man, I hope this makes you happy. I suspect it doesn't, but I hope that you get a living Supergirl and she makes you happy. But like, it just doesn't do it for me, I guess. You know, I'm glad she's here, and I'm glad she's here because of what they released right after her. Because this is the money. This is what they should have been doing the whole time. I'm almost ready to talk about my thoughts about this, but this is the thing they should have done. A specific enemy set with draw cards, with specific items to fight them, with unique attacks for their activations. This is money. Like having special equipment cards that just help you deal with these two, man, that's the stuff right there. And I looked at some of the cards, just kind of zooming in to take a casual look at them, and they're gnarly. and then looking at some of these and the way that they shut them down, this is exactly what the entirety of DC should have been. Specialized enemies with specialized equipment to fight them, so that you spend the game being terrified they're going to show up, and they show up, and then it becomes a mad dash to find the thing that will stop them. This is what I am about. This is the best thing I think they've put out for this entire campaign. If I had to pick one thing, and I don't like Supergirl, and I'm not a big Superman fan, but this idea, this is what they need to do more of. We got Shazam. I don't know who told them to give him a spear that had a thunderbolt on it. Maybe it's somewhere in the comics. Maybe it transitions well on a comic book page, but it looks dumb as shit here. This is so dumb. He looks like he's trying to be Aquaman on land. Like, Shazam doesn't need a fucking stick. Like, have him holding the ball of electricity. Have the shot coming from the sky. Have him flying. Have my guy just standing there roiding out like Bane. But like, what is this? In my entire life, I've never felt so bipolar looking through a campaign for a Kickstarter. And then we have this. I love this. This Darkseid looks so much better. He still kind of looks like he's wearing a onesie, but only a little bit because they fixed it a lot here. This is awesome. This is an awesome design. Okay, my biggest gripe this entire time is we did an entire box and then three specials for Green Lanterns that are all Green Lanterns. And Green Lanterns are cool. I love Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns and Batman are really the only things in DC that'll get me to come back most times. Why is this the only character who is in a Lantern Corps other than the Green, other than Sinestro? And why does he have a yellow plastic base if Sinestro, who made the Lantern Corps, can't have a yellow base? They went on stream and told us that it wasn't possible because of the way they were putting the model together, and then they did it here. So for some reason, when you put Darkseid on a base, you got enough space to put the plastic there, but when you do it with the leader and founder of the Yellow Lanterns, you can't do it. If you are a Sinestro fan, I would be pissed. This is a cool addition. This is awesome. This is what they should have been doing. Like, where's Atrocitus? Why can't I get a Red Lantern? Like, why aren't we seeing the Blue Hope Lantern Flash? Like, yes, no, it's not DCeased proper, no, but we've long since given up on that narrative, and we're not gonna have that narrative because the anti-life and zombies aren't the same thing. So if we're gonna just kind of casually wash away the rules of engagement here, let's wash away the rules of engagement that are getting in the way of us putting dope shit in this campaign so people can be excited about it. I have seen more excitement for this campaign in the last 3 stretch goals than I have almost anything else they've done except for the Batman boxes. And, funny side anecdote, I've watched a lot of people complain how this is Batman Zombicide and Batman stuff is the only stuff anyone likes. The only stuff I ever see anyone going, oh, this is really cool, comes from Batman. I like Superman about as much as I like a wet fart. It's not my thing. But Brainiac is cool, Lex Luthor is cool, and he's in it. Darkseid is cool, he's already in it because he's doing his thing. If you can name me another Batman, another Superman villain, or character in general that's awesome, I'd be shocked. Steel is cool, he's in it. There's something to be said for some of the Superboys. The one with the mechanical one is cool, the cyborg one. But there's just not a lot there. Flash villains includes a guy whose entire power is I have a gun that shoots out cold beams, and we have Mr. Freeze in the same universe. And unlike Mr. Freeze, Captain Cold doesn't have a law degree and doesn't have a good motivation for what he's doing in comparison. We also have Killer Frost, who makes the Captain Cold look dumb because she does the same thing without the gun. We also have Ice from earlier in this campaign. That's a whole nother gripe. DC had a lot of cool stuff to pick from, and I know that they weren't able to pick the stuff that they would have chosen if they could have, and they had a lot of design and direction from DC that hurt them. And if it makes you mad and you're upset about it, then vent and rant. But don't forget, the CMON people that did this did the best they could with what they had to make a product worth having. And if you're upset that they're doing it through Kickstarter, remember, a deal with DC to produce something like this is not something a company that small could have ever hoped to have done. And if a bigger company did it, it'd have been even worse. Dorkness Inc. out.